Let's focus now on the financial sector because aggrieved customers of Gold Coast Fund Management are mounting pressure on the Ministry of Finance to begin the disbursement of their locked-up investments following the collapse of the Black Shield Fund Management in 2017. The group has picketed the Ministry of Finance today, accusing the Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, of failing to authorize the disbursement of some monies for customers who have their investments impacted as a result of the financial sector cleanup. Charles Jami is the convener for the group.
We are the aggrieved customers of Gold Coast Fund Management. Customers who did investment with Gold Coast Fund Management, owned by Dr. Apako Sindum. The company collapsed as a result of the government policy, financial cleanup exercise. After the collapse of the company, the government made us submit our claims of investment through the various banks of consolidated bank across the nation. After that, the Securities and Exchange Commission came out with a budget of 8 billion Ghana cedis to pay 47 fund management companies whose customers fell to the financial cleanup exercise. After this budget was made, the Finance Ministry and the government allocated these monies in the mid-year 2020 and 2020 main budget. And in fact, they top it up to 8.6 billion. It means that in excess of 600 million. After this 600 million was budgeted for and approved by the Parliament, the first tranche was done in 2020 mid-year budget. That was 3.1 billion. The government used it for something that is called partial bailout, which saw investments who gave each investment 50,000 Ghana cedis. Now, the remaining 5.5 billion was approved in 2021 main budget. When that approval was done, there has not been disbursement, but all documents available from the Finance Ministry and the government in the Parliament House and the public domain indicates that the government has spent 26 billion in paying out customers who fell victims to the financial cleanup. And when you try to digest the component of these 26 billion that the government claims it has spent, our approved 8.6 billion that's supposed to pay fund management customers in full has been calculated as part of the 26 billion that has been spent. Meanwhile, this money did not reach us. That is why we are here today to demand our immediate payment from the Finance Ministry. Since they claim that those monies have been spent, they have to give us the money right here because they have created bank accounts for all these customers standing here across the various branches of the commercial banks. And therefore, we expect them to advance money to the commercial banks for them to credit our accounts within these 48 hours that we are going to tarry here. Then we live here. Because we don't expect the government and the Finance Ministry to be so insensitive as to the point as we have exposed them for their greediness of spending our monies without reaching us. Look at the ages of these people standing right here. They are above 60, 70, 80. And if the government will be so sensitive enough to watch on for these people to tarry within the weather, scorched by the sun, and stand in the dew for the 48 hours, it would deepen their insensitiveness to the whole world.
Aggrieved customers also shared their frustration and hardship they are going through as a result of this locked-up investment.
After that, the Securities and Exchange Commission came out with a budget of 8 billion Ghana cedis to pay 47 fund management companies whose customers fell to the financial cleanup exercise. After this budget was made, the Finance Ministry and the government allocated these monies in the mid-year 2020 and 2020 main budget. And in fact, they top it up to 8.6 billion. It means that in excess of 600 million. After this 600 million was budgeted for and approved by the Parliament, the first tranche was done in 2020 mid-year budget. That was 3.1 billion. The government used it for something that is called...
Please, we are appealing to government to pay us because our members are dying. Me, for instance, I have to go through hardship. It's not easy. Very difficult. Very, very difficult because I have to force my pension at 55, which I don't supposed to do that. I plan to enjoy life after working at the mines. So please, we are appealing to government to see to the Finance Minister release the remaining, the 5.7 billion that he's still with Finance Minister. He should release it for us, please.
I retired 23 years ago. having worked over 30 years, I expected to enjoy my retirement. So all the money I had, I invested. Let them release our money. That's all. So that it isn't the government's money. It is my money that I have worked and earned. So at least for them, the government to see that some of us, those who were civil servants, how much were we being paid? So all that we had to invest to be able to earn something. The interest, at least, we could enjoy. Interest, though, main principal,
we have to go outside, beg. Sometimes maybe our friends, we call them that we don't have money, give us something little, even school fees, but we can't even pay. Now one exercise book is 10 cedi, first is 2 cedi. Why? One notebook is 50 cedi. Why? Just a notebook for a child who is in class 5. Why? 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 Even the school fees, but we should release the money. It should release the money.
Also concerns there by the aggrieved customers of defunct Gold Coast Fund Management. We understand that a meeting subsequently was held amongst leadership and reps from the Finance Ministry. What's the update on that? Joining us now is Charles Nyame, convener of the group. He's joining us after that engagement. Charles, the hope is that after this engagement, at least the Finance Ministry will now be giving you some sense and hope as to when you'll get your funds released. Did you get that after the meeting today?
In fact, there hasn't been any meeting between the customer leadership and the Finance Ministry. When we went there, we were engaged by a man who describes himself to be one of the directors at the Finance Ministry, requesting to have a meeting with us. Initially, we declined with the reason that we believe he has no capacity to take any informed decision to resolve our situation.
Is it that you don't respect him? This is someone working on behalf of the Finance Ministry.
We have reason to that. Because we have been at the Finance Ministry back in the year 2020 with a protest where we handed over a petition received by a Deputy Finance Minister with assurances to work on our requests. We never heard anything after that scene. So we believe that even at the level of Deputy Finance Minister receiving our petition with assurances that could not do anything about it, how much more a director whom we do not know his designation.
You don't know if the Finance Minister is the one sending him.
Wait. Yeah. So, upon second thought, we realized that if we refuse to meet them, they may come into the media to try and do propaganda that, we wanted to engage them, the ministry wanted to engage them, but they were not forthcoming. So we decided to meet with them. They ushered us into a reception where business was ongoing there. When they ushered us into that reception, we sat there for over 40 minutes. But within that period, we had people coming in and out that reception who were over 100, and sometimes they may be in tens. And so we were wondering that is this the place that we are going to hold the meeting? We asked them. We asked one person, yes, but we sat there for over 40 minutes. No one attended to us.
Not even the director?
No one attended to us. Meanwhile, the meeting was called at their instance. We didn't call for the meeting. Right. So before you call us for a meeting, we came there with genuine concern. You should be ready to engage us. So we realized that the one calling the meeting has no capacity to address any issue. That is why the person is roaming up and down without being able to tell us anything. Right. So after the 45 minutes, we decided to walk out. So we walked out of the place. And nothing went on. We were called in, but no one attended to us for the past 40 minutes that we spent at that.
Okay, for the benefit of those who may have lost track of your concerns, how did it all start? Especially for those who are customers of this defunct Gold Coast firm.
Thank you very much. You see, Gold Coast Fund Management was a company who was in existence for 25 years. Before the financial cleanup exercise, a policy by the Nana Akufo-Addo government, which sought to address malfeasance within our financial sector. We have no problem the government collapsing the business or whatever. because it preluded with assurances that it is being done to protect our deposits and our investments. So the company was collapsed. Customers were asked by the government to submit our claims of investment to various consolidated banks across the nation. We did that. After the validation, the Securities and Exchange Commission, which is the regulator, came out with a budget of 8 billion that could pay all 47 fund management customers, 47 fund management companies' customers who fell to the financial cleanup exercise, which Gold Coast Fund Management is one of them. But Gold Coast Fund Management, when you look at the total number of these 47 fund management customers, companies' customers, Gold Coast stands about 90% of the total number, and the investment portfolio to withstand over 90% of the investment portfolio.
Really?
Yes.
So you're more than any other group that we've had.
If you put all of them together, they stand.
What's the number looking like?
The Gold Coast Fund Management, initially after the validation and everything, our number was put in the range of 140,000.
140,000
customers over. And as I speak to you, there are Gold Coast Fund Management customers who couldn't get the opportunity to be validated. So there are extra number which could not go through the validation. If we add that to that, it will be more than that, 140,000. So when the budget, budget was made, that is 8 billion by the Securities and Exchange Commission, that
dedicated to tackling some
that can pay all of us. Yes. The government and the Finance Ministry made allocation of this budget into the mid-year 2020 budget and 2021 main budget in two tranches. Right. In mid-year 2020 budget, they budgeted for 3.1 billion, and the Parliament approved it. When the Parliament approved it, that was in July 2020. In the November 2020, the approved 3.1 billion was used to do something called partial bailout. Partial bailout in the sense that part of the money has been approved and we are going to pay it to the customers, which they capped the amount to 50,000. It means that those who have investment not beyond 50,000, all of them were paid off. But those who investment was beyond 50,000 got only 50,000, okay, and waiting for the remaining to be approved by Parliament House for their full payment.
Have you done, have you reconciled the figures? At least it might bring down the number from 140,000 as we are looking at to a much more smaller number. Yes,
it has brought
the number down.
Right now we are left with, according to the figures of the data, we are left with 61,000.
Okay.
As Gold Coast
out of the 140,000 that's left dealing with.
Yes.
Okay.
Good. So these 61,000 people have investment beyond
50,000 citizens.
Good. And even among the 61,000, there are some who couldn't even got the partial bailout. Okay. They have their issues. So in the year 2020 main budget, the amount of 5.5 billion was sent to the Parliament House to be approved for our full payment.
Right.
And they approved it. So it means that when you put the 3.1 billion together with 5.5 billion, the money was approved in excess of 600 million because it was 8.6 billion in totality.
Right.
When this approval was made, we have never seen any disbursement from the 2021 coming. But when you look at documents from the Finance Ministry, at the Parliament, and even at the public domain, the Finance Ministry and the government is claiming that they have used 26 billion to clean up the financial sector. These 26 billion,
yes,
when you look at the components that comes together to form the 23 billion, our 8.6 parliamentary approved bailout
is contained in this document.
It's contained.
Have you made attempts to ask the Finance Ministry for clarity on this? Because probably they were referring to another set of compensations that were done.
Please, when you look at the 2021 year budget, paragraph 86,
yes,
87, and 88, it is spelled there categorically that this 5.5 billion is being sought to pay us in full. Gold Coast Fund Management name is mentioned categorically. First Bank name was mentioned categorically, and other fund management name, that these monies will complete the cleanup
and truly you say it would have sorted out the concern.
Yes. But the money have not reached us, but they are claiming that they have spent that money as inclusive. So concerns that we are raising is that, okay, these are taxpayers' money being given to a finance ministry to disburse to customers who have had their funds locked up.
Right.
How can you spend the money without reaching the customers?
Well, we cannot conclude, and that's where I want us to play safe. We cannot conclude right now that probably they've expended the money. Maybe the money is sitting down somewhere. It might be giving.
Why should it be sitting somewhere whilst we have 800 of our customers dead and gone because they couldn't have access to their monies to take care of their medical bills? Why should it be so? What is the money waiting for? What was the money approved for? Why did they raise the money? They raised the money to pay us. So what are they waiting for? So we are raising genuine concern, and we want every Ghanaian to be concerned. These are taxpayers' money. Taxpayers' money. And a finance ministry cannot expend it without accounting for it.
I'm, in fact, touched by the story of the old lady we saw in the picture. That it does suggest that many of your members are reeling under, the effect of this.
Yes.
How bad is the situation?
Very bad. Very bad. You see, our group is in such a way that over 80% of our members are above 80 years, or let me say 70 years.
Right.
They are old people, okay, who did this investment after their
knowing
retirement,
that they may get something.
So that they were depending on the monthly proceeds that came out of this comes out of this investment. For 5 years now, most of them, they were funding their medical bills and whatever with this. Since it is not coming, most of them cannot pay for their medical bills and they have to die. We have businessmen and women who have their company collapse. We have a businessman who have in the tune of $10 million in this.
$10 million.
I'm telling you.
$10 million.
I'm telling you.
Not Ghana cedis.
No, dollars. And we have people who have an amount of, let me say, $1 million, even 1 million Ghana cedis, 2 million. They are all businessmen and now they are crippled. So how can you run economy by crippling your businessmen and women?
Interesting. Well, what's the next line of action? At least today you are the finance ministry. You say that there was no favorable outcome. Are you going back there? What's next for your group?
Oh, this protest is 48 hours continuous. We are sleeping there for the next 48 hours. With that old ladies that the old.
So your people are still there?
They are there. And from here, I'm going back there. We are going to sleep there. And you see, they are so insensitive to the point that they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. And if we have a nation who could sit down and make sure that and mismanage an amount of, let me say, over 60 billion to go waste, and will not be concerned about a situation that you could use an amount of, let's say, 5 billion to sort out over 100,000 people. And I'm sorry for the kind of leadership that we have in this country.
Are you hoping to meet the finance minister on this?
He's the one that we are looking for.
Oh, so he's the only one you want to meet now?
Yes, because the document that is out there, he has signed to it that he has spent that amount. And in the components includes our remaining balance. And we want him to explain to us how he spent the money and how he's going to manage to pay us.
But the concern too is that, well, sleeping there might not be healthy for the people who are there. How about making use of other avenues you have in the law? There's the right to information law. There are other channels of going to court. Have you tried some of these avenues just to seek answers?
If it is not in Ghana, why should a bailout that has been approved by the Parliament House, money is being raised, why should we go through this legal process? It has been 5 years now. We don't have even money to go through to consult the service of a legal practitioner. We don't have that money. These people, they are going through a lot of unhealthy situations in their homes. Some of them even funding 1 square meal a day is difficult for them. So it's better they come out there to show their frustration to the government and the whole world for them to release the money than to stay in their homes and die.
If there's an appeal, probably to the authorities who are watching us now, what would that collective message be to the authorities that be?
Okay, thank you. I hope some of them or most of them are watching us by now. For the sake of humanity, I'm pleading with them that for the sake of humanity and the lives of these old men and women who need to enjoy a little bit in their pension life, they should release the money. They should release the money. Because it is not good to treat your fellow human beings. You see, they should tell me how many of them will be happy if their salary, monthly salary, will be locked up for only 5 months. How would they survive? They should tell us. How would they survive? Confiscating people money for over 5 years. This is a deadly situation. People are dying. And for humanity's sake, they should just do something about it.
Well, Charles, we can only hope for better days. We wait to see if there'll be a response from the Finance Ministry on this. But, of course, we'll keep monitoring your activities at the Finance Ministry and see if there'll be some answers. Thank you for spending some time.
Thank you for
with us. Charles Nyame is the convener for the aggrieved customers of defunct Gold Coast Fund Management. You're watching The Pulse. When we return, we'll bring you some more stories. Please stay.